Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for 6 things that we learned from Chelsea 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. I want to say this was a comprehensive Chelsea victory, really, but there's always going to be some roundabouts, some swings that we don't really have, suspensions at the top holding us there safely when Antony Taylor is given the officiation of a game that involves Chelsea Football Club and another big club. He only seems to get the games where we're playing against the big teams, or at least that's the way it seems. And once again, some appalling Premier League officiating has robbed Chelsea, scammed Chelsea out of 3 massive, valuable points in a Premier League title race that begins in match week number 1. City, 6 goals scored, none conceded, 6 points. Chelsea, 4. Tottenham Hotspur, 4. Ahead of us in the Premier League table in a game that was not only a classic in the sense of the drama, a classic in the sense of the narrative of Conte versus Thomas Tuchel. Before we get into the boxes, this is 6 things we learned, a series that we do after every Chelsea game, bar the Everton game. We missed that one because it was my birthday. What this series is we have green boxes for good, we have blue for man of the match performances, yellows for things that we can discuss that can be worked on, and reds for bad. I have gone with a very positive outlook to the football in this video today, but I want to first of all clarify a couple of things here, because this is not just a game where Chelsea fans feel bitter, Chelsea fans feel sour about the result and the manner in which things have gone against us in this game. Chelsea were by far the better team. If you're a Tottenham fan watching this, please, I implore you to inform me in some kind of serious detail as to how you deserved to get a point from this football match, other than football is a sport where the score at the end of the game dictates how many points you get, and that's what the history books are going to tell us. But the history books might not favour Chelsea in this game, but performance-wise, I thought we were exceptional. I thought tactically, Tuchel masterstroked this one, and then the whole game is clouded by Tuchel being sent off. Antonio Conte being sent off after, first of all, Spurs equalise. Conte goes and encroaches in towards the Chelsea space. Towards the end of the game, we scored the second goal. Reece James, wonderful. Thomas Tuchel bombs down the wing as if it's Jose Mourinho, Old Trafford, Porto, 2004. It is a phenomenal atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. Yes, I'm 17 hours away the other side of the world, so I didn't hear anything or see anything in the stadium myself, but the atmosphere was electric. The limbs in the Matthew Harding when Reece James scores that goal are everything that we've missed about football. The first home game of the season against Tottenham, we thought we'd won it. And then all of a sudden, you've got Cucurella. If there was WWE for hairdressing, Mark Cucurella has just been SummerSlam. He's got his hair pulled to the ground. It is a foul. Again, this is a struggle for me here, because there are some people that will turn around and tell you know what, that's all right, mate. It's in the rules of the game. It states in law number 17.6 that if you do indeed have beautiful long Spanish locks, you're probably not going to have them by the end of the game, mate, because you're allowed to get them yanked off your flipping scalp. It's just a joke, man. I've had enough of Antony Taylor. Every time he referees Chelsea in a big game, there are decisions that even the neutral who hates Chelsea Football Club can look at and be like, well, you know what? Yeah, maybe this shouldn't have been given. Harry Kane scores a 96th minute equaliser to get Tottenham a steal and to leave Chelsea feeling absolutely well and truly robbed as a result of this game. Well, I don't want to sit here bitching too much. Antonio Conte has lost all my respect yesterday. Yes, Tuchel wasn't a saint. Yes, the handshake was Tuchel gripping him hard, saying eye contact for a handshake. I get his point, but at the end of the day, it did go a little bit too far. But Chelsea were the ones hard done by. So when emotions run high, what to expect? But the first box of the season is a blue for what was a monumental home debut for Kalidou Koulibaly. Yes, it deflects off of him. Kulusevski's goal, which should not have been a goal in the first place anyway, because Kai Havertz was absolutely indefinitely fouled in the build-up to it 44 seconds before. But Koulibaly's goal is magnificent. It is a stunning corner from Mark Cucurella. Koulibaly, what he did so well is utilise the inept tactical defending of Tottenham Hotspur from corners. They do zonal marking. With zonal marking, case by case, you are supposed to adapt compared to where the attacking team are positioning their players. Koulibaly had the free rein of the Tottenham Hotspur 18-yard box, drifts a little bit further back. Cucurella sees the space open up, puts in the perfectly weighted cross with enough whip, with enough zest, and Koulibaly volleys it perfectly above the ducking and diving Raheem Sterling. I just want to give Sterling some credit for this here, because the manoeuvrability of his neck, I mean, I'm a bit of a giraffe, but Sterling has done magnificently well to navigate himself out of the way from Koulibaly's volley, and to score a volley like that on your home Stamford Bridge debut in the Premier League against the biggest rivals that Chelsea have. The celebration is absolute carnage. It was phenomenal. And not just that, Jamie Carragher, Chelsea were hard done by as well in the punditry on Sky yesterday. I watched it on Sky. The punditry was very, very critical, especially Jamie Carragher, on Koulibaly's ability on the ball. I disagree with Jamie Carragher in this sense. I know he's a defender, and I conceded 7 goals in my defensive debut at Wembley and gave away a penalty that was then converted. But I do want to say it's a lot more to a defender than how comfortable their legs look when the ball is at their feet. Positionally, always available. Spurs, even though they weren't at their best in the first half, they were still pressing Chelsea defenders. There were moments where there were tight little triangular pockets of passing between Cucurella, Koulibaly, Jorginho to navigate Chelsea out of tight areas. I think as debuts go at Stamford Bridge for a centre-back, we saw yesterday that the Koulibaly-Silva partnership, whether it is Azpilicueta next to him, whether it is defending in a back 4, then back 5, then back 3, it was tactical genius from Chelsea yesterday. We were phenomenal. For that debut goal, deserves a blue box. In the first one of the season, we move into box number 2. Speaking of assists, Marc Cucurella. Yesterday we saw 3 debutants at Stamford Bridge. Cucurella, assist. Sterling, assist. Koulibaly, goal. Marc Cucurella, I think, is going to go down as a revelation at Chelsea Football Club. And I do believe that because he's so good, and we also know Ben Chilwell is also so good, I absolutely think that before the end of this season, Cucurella's going to be a starter every single game, and it's going to have to be left centre-back. I think he's too good not to play. He was direct yesterday, like I said with the little triangular passing that I saw in the first half. It wasn't just the fact that he got the assist. He looked so comfortable on the ball, which, when we talk about Alonso, I don't want to just shove Alonso under the bus because Cucurella was so good, but we have got an upgrade of absolute gargantuan proportions by signing Marc Cucurella. Direct going forward, defensive positioning, excellent, always available for a pass, whether it is from Jorginho Kante, Koulibaly Silva. Cucurella, I thought, was everywhere yesterday, and he was involved in the game. He was looking as though, despite it being his home debut, despite the heat of the actual pitch for a start, it was bloody hot yesterday in London, but the temperament of the game. He's gone from Brighton to Chelsea, massive step up. Did he look out of place? Absolutely not. I think this is astute business. I think it's phenomenal business. And he's also got a brilliant song. He eats paella, he drinks Estrella. It's wonderful. I absolutely love it. Cucurella is box number 2. Box number 3, Reece James. When there is a player that you want to score a massive goal to get the crowd going nuts at Stamford Bridge in a massive derby, you want it to be Reece. Because when this guy goes forward, he's a unit. He's massive. So he's already intimidating for the opponents, which is what gets fans behind him in the first place. But when he scores, the passion, the love, the desire, the fire, the heat radiates from Reece James. He goes over to the Chelsea fans. He's kissing the badge. Puts on Instagram, my club. I absolutely love and adore Reece James. I think he's a phenomenal footballer and an even better bloke. And I think Chelsea are blessed to have such a wonderful advocate foundation for Chelsea Football Club, as in Reece James. He was brilliant yesterday. Absolutely bodied Harry Kane, which you absolutely love to see. Got himself a booking, but Chelsea need players like Reece. I think over the last couple of years, not only have we always known about the physical nature of the way he plays, but importantly as well, Chelsea need to cultivate leaders. Chelsea need leaders that aren't 38-year-old Thiago Silva. Nothing against Thiago Silva, he was brilliant again yesterday too, but Chelsea need players like Reece to step up, show that passion, the way that Mason Mount does as well. And I think Reece is going to be that guy for at least the next 10 years. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. Scored the goal that should have won Chelsea the game. I mean, in any other game with any other official in the world, Chelsea have won this game yesterday. We're talking positives because of the performance. The footballing element of what the result means is a disaster, really, because we did not deserve anything other than 3 points in this game yesterday. Reece is box number 3. We move into box number 4. And I don't want it to be too critical because I think everyone played well. It's a yellow for Kai Havertz. And the reason it's a yellow is because Kai Havertz was going through the middle. He had a massive chance on the volley, 5 yards out, that he puts wide, doesn't even hit the target somehow. He scores that, Chelsea win the game, even with the dreadful officiating. But I'm not going to blame Havertz for why we didn't win, because we didn't win because of the refereeing decisions, because they were atrocious. But Kai Havertz, I do believe if it was a number 9 who is more of a traditional striker, I think Chelsea win the game. So the reason it's a yellow is because, once again, there are questions that I have about whether or not Kai Havertz can consistently deliver enough goals to make Chelsea serious contenders. I thought other than that he played well. I thought the fire that we saw with his conflict with Romero is what we need to see more of from Kai Havertz. I think he needs to get the bit between his teeth. He needs to show a bit more grit, fight in a Chelsea shirt, which of course in a London derby, if you don't have it then, you're never going to have it. But yesterday everybody was on. Everyone was on fire. I just think Havertz needs to do more, a lot more, to warrant being Chelsea's number 9. Yes, he's a silky player. Yes, he can drift and ghost past players, but he needs goals, he needs confidence, and Chelsea need more goals to win more football matches. It is as simple as that. We move into box number 5. It's a green for Mr. Red Card. Thomas Tuchel is a Chelsea legend. I don't care what anybody says about the quality of Pep, Klopp, even Antonio Conte. Thomas Tuchel, after 5 months of being Chelsea manager, has won a Champions League. The guy is an absolute genius. Tactically yesterday, putting Ruben Loftus-Cheek on, starting the game, was genius. Chelsea dominated Tottenham yesterday, dominated the midfield, and it was Tuchel's decisions. And Tuchel's comments after the game, if it was any other day, Chelsea win this. It is Antony Taylor should never be able to referee a game of football that involves Chelsea Football Club ever again, because he doesn't know what he's doing. The quality of officiating in England has been so bad for so long, but every time this guy is in charge, there are appalling decisions. Kai Havertz is clearly fouled. Whether you can say he won the ball or not, I've seen it many, many times. I don't even see him touch the ball. He goes through the player, and he's almost the last man. No foul, okay. Cucurella, like we said, SummerSlam for the barbers and hairdressers of the world. It's a foul. It's a foul. It's never a corner. How on earth is this allowed to stand? I do not get it. Thomas Tuchel, quite within his rights after the game to be fuming with Antonio Conte, but I don't want to just say that he's a saint, because I think he is an absolute flipping saint. But in the context of that situation, yes, it was unnecessary. Yes, he provoked Antonio at the end of the game by holding onto his hand. Morally correct with the reasoning behind it or not, I do agree with him. But at the same time, you can't do that. He's sent off. He won't be able to coach for the match away at Leeds United at Ellen Road next Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember which day it is. Tactically brilliant. Chelsea were flawless almost yesterday. Yes, there are a couple of moments where we look a bit shaky, a couple of moments where we can see 2 goals, but I've already gone into enough detail about that one. Tuchel's a green box. I think the man, I just absolutely love the guy to death. Moving in to box number 6, N'Golo Kante is a green. Kante bossed the Tottenham midfield yesterday. Couple of errors with some poor passing, poorly timed passing as well when runs were being made, but Kante looks fit. Kante looks fresh. Conor Gallagher came on, thought he did an excellent job, but N'Golo Kante is looking good. He controlled the Chelsea midfield. Jorginho, up until the moment he tries to do a drag back in the penalty area, I thought Jorginho was excellent as well. I thought Ruben was brilliant. I thought he used his body exceptionally well. Again, sometimes maybe one too many touches in the final third. Maybe needs to be a bit bolder. Maybe could still use his body even more than we saw yesterday. But I do think Chelsea can feel incredibly hard done by this result. Chelsea fans have all the right to be as mad as I was after the game, going to Twitter ranting. I'm sick and tired of seeing Antony Taylor referee. I'm serious now. It's too many times that this guy has got away with, I don't want to say corruption, because I want to save that for a different video, because I want to talk about this in more detail. It might not be corruption, but there is certainly evident bias from Antony Taylor against Chelsea. And it's happening in such blindly obvious moments. He's staring. He is right next to Cucurella. He's closer, and he can see better than even the TV cameras can. It's a farce. It's a joke. I don't want to talk about it anymore. 15 minutes of time. And all I can say is Chelsea won that game yesterday, but we didn't. We drew. Finished Chelsea 2, Tottenham 2. Thank you guys so much for watching this video here on GBFC. If you did agree with any of my points, let me know in the comments by hitting the like button on the video too. Subscribe to the George Benson Football channel if you are new around here. and haven't yet done so, and turn on those notifications so that you don't miss videos. This one. Come on, you Blues.